Welcome back everyone to more NASCAR 21 Ignition. Today our very first gameplay video, and where else would it be but Bristol Dirt. This is a track I've been waiting to race at, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well. This is going to be a lot of fun and probably pretty frustrating as well, but hey, that's part of the fun, learning what we need to do, learning how to drive these cars, and of course learning how to manage the AI and race around those guys. Let's take a quick look at our settings before we get started. Now, not a lot of settings to deal with here, and certainly no adjustments to the AI beyond the difficulty, which I am setting at champion level for today's race. That is not the highest level. I believe it's called extreme. So this is the second in line on difficulty. We'll be running a 15% race, which I believe equates to 40 laps, full field, and no damage. The reason for that is we're here to have a little fun. We're not testing the damage model right now, although we will definitely be making contact. I don't know any way around it at this track with these cars. The AI is challenging. There's not a lot you can do with the setup for the cars, which makes it even more challenging. So let's have some fun and start in the rear. So we will not be qualifying. Instead, we'll go straight to the back and see how many cars we can pass. Can we last 40 laps? It's time to find out. As we get today's race started, a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one is I'll be using the default setup. All right, there we go. We just crossed the start-finish line. That's where we get control of the car. Ooh, look out. Not crazy about being 3 wide with these guys at this track. Hopefully the sound is okay. The sound has been all over the place for me in this game. Oh, look out. And the most important thing is the view that I'm using. I'm using an outside view. The reason I'm doing that is I normally do not ever use anything outside the cockpit. That's my preferred view. But in this game right now, the cockpit view is what I would just call broken, simply. You get no information in there. The only sound I hear in the cockpit view is essentially the transmission whine. In fact, until I tried another view, I didn't even know the engine sound was in the game because it was so muffled inside, I could literally barely hear it. All I heard was the high-pitched transmission whine. That is not something I wanted to hear. So that was no good. Also, there's no HUD, there's no information, there's no leaderboard, there's no anything that you see on your screen. Ouch. Okay, I appreciate that, AI. Good job. Appreciate that. That's awesome. So you can see the AI, not a lot of situational awareness. That's one of the reasons why I turned the damage off and said that, again, we're just trying to survive here. Speed is not a problem against the AI on the champion difficulty. They're certainly not too fast. But we're just going to try to methodically move our way through the field as best we can. You're probably going to hear the spotter. Hopefully the sound is okay. Hopefully you can hear the engine sound. This is the only views that I can actually hear it. So hopefully you guys can as well. And you'll notice I'm going to stick to the middle and upper portion of the track pretty much the entire time, if at all possible. And the reason for that is the AI crowd the bottom. You can see they actually like to get down onto the apron in the corners, which is no good. And if I get down there with them, they will try to force me down onto that apron as well, and that is nowhere I want to be. It's enough struggle trying to handle this thing up on the banking. But there's a lot of speed to be had at the very bottom of the banked area of the track. Certainly. But I'll take my chances up here in the middle or upper. I gotta tell you, this racing view takes a lot of getting used to. This is very different than what I'm used to. But it gives you guys access to that information. Top left-hand corner is your leaderboard. I will probably barely look at that. But it'll give you guys an opportunity to at least see the cars around us and how close we are ahead and behind, that kind of stuff. And of course see our overall running position. Then in the top right hand corner you get some information about lap times, which will not be Oh, good God. Come on, AI. No situational awareness. So he just ran us into the wall again. So this is one of the ways why I try to sort of minimize my frustration with the game at this point, is to turn off the damage and things like getting slammed into the wall for no reason. I just try to roll with it as best I can, and hopefully in the future they'll be able to patch up some of these issues. But for now, we just sort of deal with them as best we can. I see a lot of potential here, but we definitely got to work through some issues. Oh, look out. Gassed it up maybe a touch too much there, you think? All right, let's try to catch back up to him. The official car of the game, BJ McLeod, number 78 ride there, sponsored by Motorsport Games. But again, speed is not really the issue with the cars on this difficulty level. It's patience. So I'm just trying to be as patient as I can as we try to work our way through the field, at least a little bit, starting from the rear. I love the throttle control element of the game, but I really need to be able to work on this setup, because I feel like I could make it handle so much better for me, which in turn is going to make me more comfortable with the car and, of course, ultimately go faster and be more consistent. But right now we don't have that ability, and I'm not sure whether or not we're going to have that ability at all in the future. So once again, we're going to make the best of it. You can see we're running these guys down in front of us, so it's just about patience, as I'm about to try to take it 3 wide probably. Throttle control, and more throttle control. All right, let's see if they put me in the wall again. Yep, there he comes. Wasn't as bad that time, but he certainly didn't know what to do with somebody out there. But this is quite a bit of fun.
Stay right. All clear.
All right, there we go. Now we got a little bit of momentum. You can see now that we're getting to these guys and they're sort of single file, we're free to run our line a little bit better than when we have to deal with guys running side by side and whether or not they're going to put us in the wall.
All right, hold your line. Still there.
All right, there was some contact there. That was all my fault. There can be cautions, although I've seen a few of them. They don't trigger as often as I might have expected, given some of the action that you see in some of the wrecks I've seen, but they are on. They do exist.
Got one left. Clear all around.
All right, let's see what we can do with...
3 wide, 2 down there, 2 inside.
Do I dare chance it? Of course I do. Why not?
Got 1 low, 3 wide, 2 down there.
All right, he gave me a little room there.
2 down there, 2 inside.
Get up here and run that wall a little bit. Okay, nope, he did not. Keselowski wanted no part of me being anywhere around him. Again, that's why we have the damage turned off, because not really interested in that ruining our day. We'll give them some time to work through these issues before we start worrying about whether or not the damage is on.
Stay right. Clear, clear.
At this track, I very rarely get above, if ever, above 50% throttle. In fact, I spend most of my time probably less than that, even on the straightaways. All right, yeah, he just has no interest in me being around him. I think that was Matty D that we just passed there. Again, it wasn't terrible this time. It wasn't as blatant as what Keselowski did to us. All right, I have no idea where we're running. I might, if I get a free moment, take a look at the leaderboard at some point. Now that we got a little bit of free time, let's see, where are we? 12th position? Okay, I'll take that. We can certainly get much higher than that. But the question will be, how quickly do we run out of laps at this point? Because I have been very patient here. And I believe we're just going to simply run out of laps before we can get inside the top 10 or top 5, anything like that.
Stay right. Stay high. All clear. Got one left. One left. One left. Still next to you. 3 wide. You're up.
But again, you can see these guys are going to give you the top in the middle of the track most all of the time. And if I could get them all to do what Tyler Reddick just did for me right there, at least I believe that was Tyler Reddick, he gave me a little room coming off the corner. He noticed I was there, he gave me some room. But unfortunately, they don't always do that.
Got one left. Clear all around. Got one left.
Oh, look out, 38.
Clear all around. Got one left.
So as we were talking about earlier, I'm using the default setup. The fastest laps that I run are with the loosest setup. But here in traffic, I find that just the default basically generally works a little bit better, but there's not a whole lot of difference. Because the corner exit, which is the main thing I would need help with, basically stays the same. That angry right rear that we're driving off of stays the same. All right, how many laps do we have left? I need to remember to look at that whenever I get a chance here. Also, I feel like we've been passing some of these cars that are on the lead lap. I know we've lapped some cars. Oh, well, there you go. 5 more laps.
You're in the top 5 with that one. Stay right. Low. All clear. Three wide, 2 down there.
Ooh, look out. Sailed it in there that time.
3 wide, 2 inside. You're 3 wide. All clear.
Car is very loose under braking, not just here, but at pretty much every track. So if you're not careful, you can get yourself really bad shape. Oh, appreciate that, 00.
Just a few more here.
He's struggling just like we are.
Clear all around.
So we'll try to give him some room.
One left. Clear, clear. Only 2 left.
2 laps left. And boy, look at this mess in front of us. Alright, so I have no idea where we're running as far as position. I'll have to wait till the results probably after the race to tell me that. Oh, Logano has got to be for position. 24 has got to be for position. Let's just keep passing these guys. Wait, he just said we didn't come here for second. Are we in second? Again, I don't really have time to look at a leaderboard right now. Alright, white flag lap. Completing that.
Got one left.
Okay, I'll take it. So where did we finish? Apparently it was pretty good. We finished second. Martin Truex gets the win. He was a little less than a second in front of us. All right, so maybe had I been a bit more aggressive at the beginning of the race, the first half of the race, then maybe we'd have had a shot at the victory. But as you can see, I mean, I was certainly not running any blistering laps there. So the championship level difficulty, they're not overly fast. There's certainly not anything you can't deal with, which gives me hope for the highest difficulty level. But that is going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me as we look forward to more NASCAR 21 Ignition.